do you get really frustrated when you've got visitors and you're trying to tend to visitors, make drinks and give them the Wi-Fi code? Well, I'm going to show you how to make this QR code and make it into a piece of framed art using your Cricut machine, and it's super easy in print and cut. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm the crafter and designer behind this channel, and I'm here to help you get the best out of your Cricut machine and become your own designer. And today we're looking at this really cool QR code. So I've set up a dummy one for this one. I'm going to show you how to make your own QR code for your Wi-Fi if you've got an Apple device. And the beauty of this is you do it all in your Apple device. If you haven't got an Apple device, I'll put a website below that you can make a QR Wi-Fi code to use for this project. But if you've got an Apple, then I'm going to show you how to do it, what app to use, and how to make your own Wi-Fi code. Once you've got your Wi-Fi code, we're going to upload it to Cricut Design Space, and we're going to make it into a printable piece of art that's going to go in a box frame. I can't put it in the box frame because it's too reflective, but it's going to sit in there. This is a seasonal one, so I've got a list of seasonal rhymes on the website, so I'll pop the link to those so that you can add a little rhyme, make a house and put some images around it, and you can make one for every season then. And they're so quick and easy to make. It's just a nice change to fit with the seasons. And then when guests are visiting, all you've got to do is direct them to this and they can just scan and be on your Wi-Fi in seconds, and it's so easy. So first of all, we're going to head over to my iPad, then we're going to go to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how this is done. So you want a box frame. I'm going to measure that. So that's going to be 20 by 20. So I've got my iPad. What we're going to do is we're going to get the Wi-Fi code on here. We're going to make the QR code, and you need some printable card. So to get your QR code, you're going to go into apps. I did this on my iPhone and it worked well. If you haven't got an Apple phone or Apple device, then just search for a Wi-Fi maker. So I'm going to look into apps. I want shortcuts. When you go into the shortcut app, I'm going to look for QR your Wi-Fi. So when you can search through, I've actually saved that, but when you search through, you can find it and it will be there, and it's under accessibility and QR your Wi-Fi. So when you click on QR your Wi-Fi, it will say what is your Wi-Fi name, and that is what your actual Wi-Fi is called. So when you go on your phone and you see your network, it will have a name. So just put whatever that is. I'm not going to put my actual Wi-Fi, I'm just going to make one up for now, and whatever your password is, whether you change it regularly, whether you set it yourself, whether you've got the numbers on the back of your Wi-Fi, whatever it is, you're going to put that in there, and you're going to click done, and it's going to give you this. So this is your QR code. So when you click on it, you've got to click on it and then you can share it, and you want to share this, you want to airdrop it to your device. So I'm going to send that to my MacBook Air, and then I can use that in Cricut to make my Wi-Fi code. And this just makes life so easy than scrabbling around and finding a Wi-Fi code. But just remember, the really important thing is it has to be your actual Wi-Fi and whatever your password is. Now we're going to go over to Cricut Design Space. We're going to upload this to make this into some artwork. So we're going to start by grabbing a square from the free shapes bar in Cricut Design Space. Just make that bigger, and we want to make that into a print and cut image. So I've just changed my background. You do that in the bottom right hand corner, just click on background choice or colour, and then I'm going to grab some text. So what I've done is I've copied this out of my website, so I'll drop the link for that below, and I've used Love and Beach font, but it's just any little rhyme you want to put underneath just so that your guests can read it and it makes a bit of a talking point. And that's why it's nice to do this seasonally, because you can do little seasonal rhymes. And we're just going to position that so that it's central and on the bottom of our square. We might move it about a bit because we're going to add some artwork. So I'm going to now upload the QR code, and I'm going to leave the back on that because it's got a white background, but I'm going to use a white background on my image because I don't want to mess with it. Once that is in, then we can pop that in position. Things are going to change a lot in this image, but it's really, you got all the flexibility. You can make it look however you want. And now we're going to grab a triangle and a square because we're going to make a house. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put an offset on the square. So I want it to be quite a square offset because it's going to be a house shape, and I'm going to slice the offset out of the original square. I'm going to unlock the triangle because it's not very roofy and I want a roof, so I'm going to just drag it so it's a bit wider. Then I will put my offset on that. This is for print and cut, so it doesn't matter about thickness as much, it's more about visuals. So once I've done that, I can slice that out, and there is my little house. So I can position that, make sure it's positioned centrally, and my QR code is going to go inside it. So because this one is winter themed, I want this to be on my wall all through winter for guests visiting. I've got some winter images. I've got some hat and wellies from my sticker shop. I was going to use a mistletoe, but I thought it might give people the wrong idea. So then what I'm doing is I'm changing the colour of my fonts so that it matches my wellies and my woolly hat. So I'll put the link to my winter sticker shop below. There's lots of images you can use, or you can use your own images. It's just about having something to decorate it. So once we've done that, I'm going to pop the house into place, and then I'm going to colour that too. So first of all, I'm just going to pop it on. I had to send that to the back because it had gone to the back, so send another image to the back, and then I am going to centralise it so that it sits completely central. Then I can click on the house and colour it. So I'm just going to colour it so that it matches the rest of my design. And what I want is it all to be like similar colours, but then my QR code will be black, so that will stand out. So that shouldn't cause any issues then when you scan it, that there's nothing else that will get in the way. And once I've done that, I'm going to select all and flatten it so that becomes one flat image. And then we can add an offset. So I'm going to add a small offset here. I'm going to keep it square, and I'm going to make that the colour, or one of the colours that I've chosen in my design. It's quite a simple design. It's just something that's easy to look at and scan. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to then drag in my QR code. So send the image to the back. I'm just going to add some little gloves here just to decorate it a little bit more. And once I'm happy and I've got my gloves in position, which are proving to be a bit of a problem, and my QR code, then I can select all and flatten that. Now what I realised at this point, and it's something you've got to consider, is your box frame. Because if your box frame has got a bit of a lip on, which mine has, you're not going to see the edge. So I'm going to add another offset in just a really strong colour that goes around the edge. So I'm just going to make that as one of the other shades that I've used and flatten. And then when it sits in the box frame, we're not going to lose any of our images. So now we're going to make sure that everything's flattened, and then we're going to size it to the original size we measured, just to make sure that it fits exactly into our frame. And we're going to click send to print and cut. So we want it to print and cut. So here is an example here. Remove bleed and use system settings. Reduce down design space, and behind design space you'll have this box, and whatever it presents itself, you want to use the best quality. So it's taken a while because the border, and there you go, because we've got the border around, we will see that in the frame. It's cutting out, and if you haven't got a Cricut, you can just do this in Canva and create it that way. All printed out and ready to go into our frame. And we're just going to pop it in our frame. So that just was perfect. Now, I'm not going to put this on fully because I'm going to put my own one in, but there you go. You can see that you've got your border around, so that's sat around the edges, so you don't see it unless you look inside it. But what you can see is all of your images and your design, and looking at it in glass makes it really difficult, but I'm really pleased about that turned out. It's really difficult to do in the frame, so I'm just going to show it out of it, and there you go. One QR code for visitors to scan so that you're not scrabbling around for your code when people come at Christmas. Okay, so how did you find that? Isn't it easy? And it's just great to be able to have something that saves you time when you're entertaining, so that you can just go on direct, have it out and show when people come around. Right, Wi-Fi, yep, there, scan it. And it's just cute. It's something to read. It's a talking point. And everybody should have one because it just makes life easier. Please do check out my other Christmas crafts. And if you haven't seen my scannable North Pole musical labels, and then I will pop the link to that above in this video in the corner, so check that out. Thank you so much for crafting along with me. Let me know in the comments how you get along. We'll see you next time, and happy crafting.